When it comes to oil, we're talking serious global power. The countries with the largest oil reserves aren't just sitting on a ton of black gold. They're at the center of the world's energy game. These nations hold the fuel that keeps the modern world running, from powering your car to fueling entire economies. But which countries are swimming in the most oil? And how much does it actually affect their influence on the global stage? This is Opulence Luxury, where we discuss the luxurious life of the rich. Oh yeah, rich countries. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 countries with the highest oil reserves, exploring what makes them energy giants. Before we jump in, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button so you never miss any of our future videos. Now, let's get started. Number 10. Libya. Before the oil boom of the late 1950s, Libya was often considered lacking in natural resources and constrained by its arid desert landscape. The country relied primarily on foreign aid and imports to sustain its economy. However, the discovery of petroleum transformed the situation. The government maintained tight control over the economy, using the immense income from oil earnings to promote agriculture and industry while providing low-cost medical care and education to its residents. Libya now holds the greatest oil reserves in Africa, with 48 billion barrels, making it a key player in the continent's energy sector and a significant contributor to global oil supplies. The oil industry in Libya, managed by the National Oil Corporation, NOC, serves as the backbone of the country's economy, generating the vast majority of government revenue and export profits. However, years of political instability, violence, and infrastructure challenges have hindered the country's oil production. Despite these issues, Libya remains a vital source of high-quality crude oil, particularly for European markets. Number 9. United States. We're too early on this list, aren't we? With an estimated 55 billion barrels, according to World Atlas, the United States is the next largest holder of oil reserves on our list. While the country lags behind some other oil-rich nations in terms of reserves, its advanced technologies and efficient production methods, particularly for shale oil, have positioned it as one of the world's leading refiners and exporters of oil. The American oil industry is characterized by private sector-driven business. That's the American dream right there. Major production comes from states like Texas, North Dakota, and Alaska. The energy sector has significantly contributed to the country's economic growth, reduced reliance on foreign oil imports, and improved energy security. But aside from all that, what is America, really? The United States is about everything big. An international tourist magnet, the music center of the world, dominant in Hollywood, fast food nation, and so much more. Number 8. Russia. Hosting approximately 80 billion barrels, Russia holds the position of the 8th largest proven oil reserves in the world. With such vast reserves and its status as a leading producer, its impact on both domestic and international economic growth is immense. Essentially, state-owned companies like Rosneft and Gazprom Neft dominate Russia's oil industry, exerting significant influence on global energy markets. Russia exports a significant amount of oil, particularly to Europe and Asia, while generating substantial revenues for its exchequer through its energy sector. As a member of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, it collaborates with other major oil exporters to influence global oil prices. Traditionally, Russia served as a key supplier of last resort for a chain of European countries. However, this changed with the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war in 2022. The ongoing conflict has led to some of the most severe sanctions against Russia, effectively cutting it off from the European market. As a result, Russia is now seeking new buyers elsewhere. Number 7. Kuwait. In 1938, Kuwait's firm Soil first whispered rumors of oil, and everything changed. Today, Kuwait boasts the second-largest conventional oil field globally, the Bergen Field, which is also the country's biggest oil reserve. With an impressive 101 billion barrels of reserves, Kuwait ranks among the nations with the most extensive oil reserves. These reserves play a crucial role in the country's economy, generating significant national revenue and enhancing its global standing. Kuwait's oil industry is equally impressive, utilizing advanced extraction technology and efficient operations to maintain strong production levels. Though Kuwait is expected to embrace many aspects of Western culture, the country remains culturally conservative, with its Arab Islamic heritage deeply ingrained in daily life. Kuwaitis celebrate all major Islamic holidays, including Ramadan and the two Eids, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Independence Day and Liberation Day are also highly significant as secular holidays in the country. Number 6. United Arab Emirates. The UAE is a Middle Eastern country that has economically benefited immensely from an estimated 113 billion barrels of oil reserves within its borders. Much of this oil wealth is concentrated in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, which plays a significant role in developing the country's economy, shaping its infrastructure, and propelling it onto the world stage. This vast oil wealth has been key in transforming the UAE into a major global player, fueling its rapid modernization and helping it to become a thriving hub for business, tourism, and international trade. The United Arab Emirates oil industry, led by the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, ADNOC, ranks among the most productive in the world. While oil exports remain the primary source of income, UAE authorities have, in recent years, invested heavily in diversification, focusing on the tourism, financial, and renewable energy sectors. This country has also made a huge step forward in reducing its dependence on oil from an economic point of view. Number 5. Iraq. Iraq boasts the world's 5th largest proven oil reserves, estimated at 145 billion barrels. This immense oil wealth generates enormous income for the country's economy, supplying the lion's share of the government's cash flow. The revenue is crucial in funding public services, infrastructure projects, and various development initiatives that drive the nation's growth. Oil exports not only support the country's domestic needs, but also place Iraq among the top exporters to international markets, significantly contributing to its global economic position. The Iraqi oil scenario, managed by state-owned and international companies, has become a key player in the global oil landscape. Despite challenges such as political turmoil, security issues, and insufficient funds for infrastructure, Iraq continues to rank among the largest exporters of oil to distant regions of Asia and Europe. On the other hand, Iraq also boasts some fascinating tourist attractions, including Baghdad, Babylon, Erbil, the Iraq Museum, and many more. Number 4. Canada. In this regard, Canada proudly stands as the world's 4th largest custodian of proven oil reserves, with an estimated 164 billion barrels. Most of these reserves lie within the vast Alberta oil sands, deep in the northern part of the province. This oil is among the most challenging and troublesome to extract, and even more difficult to refine, making the process both cumbersome and extremely expensive. The oil sands have faced criticism from environmental groups since time immemorial, leaving the future of Canadian oil uncertain. Yet, despite the domestic controversy, Canada's oil industry remains a key driver of the economy, generating employment, attracting investment, and securing significant export revenues, many of which come from international markets, largely due to its strong trade linkages with the United States. Number 3. Iran. Oil is Iran's biggest export and the backbone of its economy. With 208 billion barrels of oil, Iran has a significant customer base in Asia that relies on fossil fuels to keep their economies running. Iran was producing millions of barrels a day in 1974, but since the 1979 Iranian Revolution, it has struggled to reach those figures again. This decline is due to a combination of political turmoil, a war with Iraq, a lack of investment, U.S. sanctions, and a high rate of natural decline. Iran's mature oil fields require enhanced oil recovery techniques, such as gas injection, to maintain production, which is declining at an annual rate of approximately 8% onshore and 10% offshore. With current technology, only 20 to 25% of the oil in Iran's fractured carbonate reservoirs is extractable, about 10% less than the global average. Number 2. Saudi Arabia. Officially known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, KSA, Saudi Arabia has leveraged its near-endless oil reserves to become one of the wealthiest countries in Asia, not to mention the Middle East. While it may not have the greatest proven reserves, Saudi Arabia puts those reserves to excellent use. It is the second largest oil producer in the world, holding approximately 267 billion barrels of oil. Additionally, accessing that oil is much easier due to a stable government and excellent infrastructure. Saudi Arabia has coastlines along both the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. Its landscape is dominated by arid deserts, lowlands, steppes, and mountainous regions. Riyadh, the capital and largest city, is the political and economic center, while other notable urban centers include Jeddah and the two most sacred cities in Islam, Mecca and Medina. Number 1. Venezuela. What? You didn't see that coming, right? Could you have imagined that the country with the most oil reserves is Venezuela? Well, with over 303 billion barrels, they rightfully hold that title. This should have made the country a fortune, but poor planning, corruption, and a government that loves to meddle in everything caused them to squander it. Venezuela is located in the northern part of South America, covering a triangle-shaped area larger than France and Germany combined. To the north, it borders the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. To the east lies Guyana, to the south is Brazil, and to the southwest and west is Colombia. The capital, Caracas, serves as the center of all activities, being the principal hub for industry, business, education, and tourism. Venezuela has had a rough time tapping into its vast oil fields and doesn't produce much overall. The crude oil is quite heavy, meaning it requires a lot of work and technological assistance to get it just right. However, the country does have some beautiful places to visit. Among them are Choroni, the Los Roques Archipelago National Park, the dunes at Medanos de Coro National Park, and Angel Falls, a popular tourist attraction. Planning to visit soon? This is proof you should. Guys, that's the list of countries sitting on the biggest oil reserves. Basically, the ones that could flip a switch and send the world into a blackout if they wanted. These nations hold some serious power when it comes to keeping the lights on and the engines running. So don't forget to give it a like and share it around. Thanks for watching.